get back into this because I know you guys missed this series. I decided to take a break from the Talk to Win series because I wanted you guys to really process what I was saying. And we have a bunch of different examples of personalities, and that's ultimately what we're going to be discussing today. So the first one is the rough graveler. It is described as someone with a lot of difficulty getting along with people, and they often harm interpersonal relationships as well. They are not able to express themselves without sounding argumentative or accusatory. That can cause issues when trying to develop interpersonal relationships, okay? The next one is the baby woman. What worked at 10 doesn't quite work at 50. Inappropriately using a high-pitched voice. So these are women who try to act as if they're a lot younger than what they are. They basically have an immature way of speaking. They have an immature way of expressing themselves. A lack of development is typically what causes the baby woman to speak in that way. The next personality we have is the bore, okay? So if they don't talk much, people will have less to judge them on. That's what they think in their head. Maybe if I don't say anything, nobody will judge me, but then they just come off as really boring. What they don't realize is that they are being judged negatively, and they are so frustrating to talk to that other people just give up. When in reality, people who are the bore are typically just really afraid of saying the wrong thing or saying something offensive, so they just cop out by not saying anything at all, but that could actually offend somebody. So just be mindful that you're not being the bore. The next personality we have is the foghorn. These people are loud, very loud. There is a great need for attention. People who talk too loud typically have an ego issue. So maybe they weren't heard or seen in their childhood, and now they are overcompensating. People who are the foghorn, sometimes that personality can work well in a professional setting, like if you're coaching or if you are instructing someone or if you're talking to a large group of people, that can be appropriate. So the next one we have is the wimp. The wimp has a too soft voice, swallow their words, and just doesn't sound like much. You don't want to be the wimp, okay? And the last personality we have here is the motor mouth. Talking too fast may signal insecurity. Always seem like they're in a rush or they're unorganized. It can just give a negative perception, even if it's not really who you are. If you just don't know how to slow down when you speak, people just automatically assume that you're all over the place because you speak very fast. So those are the personalities of your talking image, all right? So you can give someone a false impression of who you are based off of how you sound, okay? Changing your talking image is important if you want to change a perception of you, okay? If these people can change how they talk, it will change how people treat them. If you change how you speak, it may change your life. Your talking image and your social life go hand in hand because how you talk ultimately will support that social life. So a poor speaking voice can ruin your social life and it can ruin your professional life, because if you can't speak well and you have to do a presentation, or maybe you have a business meeting, or you have something coming up where you're going to have to speak to someone and you don't have the skills or the confidence, that may affect you in a negative way. So the better you sound, the better chance you have to getting a date, making a new friend, making your boss happy, getting that job, getting that promotion. You have a better shot at getting what you want if you speak better, okay? So just remember that the way you speak is ultimately what's gonna help you get what you want out of life, all right? Now, we are going to be talking about your face and body language, okay? So that's chapter 3. Body language is so important when it comes to communication. See, we're not just talking about verbal communication. We are talking about all types of communication when it comes to this Talking to Win series. Okay, so this chapter 3, we're about to get into it. People do make judgments based on your posture, how you stand. So what you can do to make sure your posture is good, have your back to the chair and rise up. Hips tucked indicates a nice neutral spine. So we're gonna sit down and then we're gonna get up. Keeping your feet flat on the ground keeping a straight posture. So you're gonna keep your back flat to the chair and then rise up. So that's how you can practice your posture. Just find a chair, sit down, get up, sit down. If you need to do it slowly, you can do it slowly. Get up, sit down. It took me a long time to work on my posture to make sure that I was always standing up straight. I didn't always used to stand up straight. I used to stand like this, with my butt out. That's how I used to stand. But now, I always make sure my hips are tucked, my back is aligned, and if I ever need to adjust myself, all I do is I just bring my hips forward. But again, you can practice with the chair, sitting down, slowly getting up, all right? All right, let's continue. Your posture is the key to communicating your image. Standing straight as though you were an important person is important. You need to practice mindfulness, consciousness, and always be aware of using good posture until it becomes a habit. We're not going to go all the way into chapter 3, but definitely posture I wanted to touch on because that is the number one thing that I think says confidence. Your back will automatically become straight as it rests against the wall, the chair. That's how I determine how straight my back is. Use that chair to get up and sit myself down, then I know, okay, my back is flat. Another way to make sure your posture is good, always keep your shoulders rolled back. Because sometimes people stand like this. They feel bad for themselves and they feel sorry for their life. But when you roll your shoulders back, you're ready for whatever. You're ready to fight. Those are little things you can do, all right? Many of us walk around with our heads in the bowed position. This head bow negatively influences our self-image. So you know what I'm talking about. It's people who walk around like this.